Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
Just making my way through a Tuesday, my friend. Just same as you, I assume.
Yeah, I'm impressed with your production skills. Like, you've gotten so many backgrounds now. That is a lot of different shows that you have to work the background on over there. You were scrolling down trying to get to McCready and Siskey. I was like, holy smokes.
There are some files in there. There are.
It's not as easy as it looks, people. There's a lot of graphic design that's going into this beautiful YouTube outlook we got.
There are some files.
By the way, I've been meaning to tell you this for like 100 years now. I need to get you a white background to put behind PTG Outdoors.
Cole sent it to me, Brandon. I will flip it.
Well, I keep forgetting.
I've got it. I got to go find it.
And then our Bet Online QR codes up there, the advertisement that we'll never see $1 from.
Can they go? They can go away.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a sponsorship deal that's now it's been good for our people. I mean, they're winning. I don't know how they're winning money. I guess they're not taking our bets, but yeah, you get the way it works. It's a weird deal. We're so far in the hole.
We can make them go away.
Yeah, we're so far in the hole with them because our people who have used that graphic have made
goodbye
so much money. We see you. Bet Online. It's been real.
It's been real.
We're so far in the hole. I mean, like literally, it's like I'm talking about like $17,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
Like we'll never.
Peace out.
See you. Yeah. Something wild. I looked at it like the other day. I was like, ha. Anyway, I wanted to see if anybody. We still have like, I don't know. We still have like 85 or 90 people that signed up through it that are betting on it or whatever. They just keep winning. So it's time to turn the page on betonline.ag. We're turning the page.
Turn the page.
Let's go. You know what today is, Neal?
It's Turn the Page Tuesday.
It's Turn the Page Tuesday.
You know what Tim Wallace's reaction to that would be?
Yay!
Brought to you by the Biden-Harris administration.
Yeah, I would like to say that this episode is brought to you by the Biden-Harris administration.
Hey, President Biden's going to be on The View, I think, Wednesday, tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Must-watch television right there.
I'll make sure I tune in.
Yes.
I'll be right there.
Woo!
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. All right.
I wish there was a way to get... Never mind. Oh, you know what I did? Hold on. I did the whole thing in a pre-roll. So I knew I did something wrong. You bragged on my skills, and I screwed them up.
All right. We'll wait. We're good. Somebody says jazz hands. Bob Williams says jazz hands in the chat.
Welcome into episode 212 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey. Here on this Turn the Page Tuesday, it's September the 24th. Hope you're having a good week as we get rolling here on show 2 of our week. Each one of these shows brought to you by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with a kiwi blend today. So a little, I'm telling you, the more I drink these, it's more like a apple Jolly Rancher.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good. Really good. I needed some juice today too. I was yawning a little bit, a little tired, but I got some juice now. Here we go. I got my Rain. Neal, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping. They already will be bumping today. Just to remind everybody, at Cooper Chevrolet, they have the Trailblazer. You can choose from over 8 brand new Chevy Trailblazers starting at $25,000 after up to $4,000 off, or you can get super low 1.9 APR plus no payments for 90 days on the Chevy Trailblazer. I used to have a couple Trailblazers. They're actually very good vehicles. Call our good friends at Cooper Chevrolet at area code 256-4481. 256-236-4481. Talked to our good friend at Brandon at PTG Outdoors last night. Had another sale from the podcast. Neal, it's almost like podcast advertising works. Brandon very happy with us at PTG Outdoors, and you can be too. PTG Outdoors is a Camus boats dealer. They have both fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards. They do custom marine electronic installations with Garmin, Humminbird, and Low Ranch products. You can get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where they replace all of the batteries with a single lithium battery. They have locations in Grenada, Mississippi, and make sure you go to the online store at ptgoutdoors.com. Doesn't matter if you're on Twitter, if you're on TikTok, whatever you're on, ptgoutdoors.com. Also, he hasn't sent me the reader for this yet, but he did tell me the other day they're now wrapping carts and doing a lot of custom wraps and things.
Yeah.
For your ATVs, carts, all that stuff. Anything you need that has anything to do with anything outside, get with our guys at PTG Outdoors.
You know, before we turn the page.
Turn the page.
Before we turn the page, I'm not quite ready to turn the page. I have something to say. I know that I did poorly last week, 2-9.
Yeah, I didn't go over the records yesterday either.
What's frustrating to me, honestly, about last week is had we done those exact same picks 9 more times, I would have gone 9-2 at a minimum, all 9 times. You know, the system that I use to pick games is a beautiful system. It works, but it requires the teams that I pick to do the things that they're coached to do, and it requires them to execute. And they didn't, and it's not my fault. I mean, it's not my fault. And had we did it again, and listen, I say this, and I love you. I hope you win all your picks. I do. You're a great guy. But you know, it's just that's the frustrating part is that I know that. I know that if we did it, went back in time to last Thursday and did it 9 more times, I'd win all 9 times. I know that. It's not disrespect towards you or any other week where you've won. It's just something that I felt I needed to get off my chest. So
you feel better?
Turn the page. Yeah, turn the page. Turn the page.
You feel better?
Better now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to turn the page?
Turn the page. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. I'm going to tell you why. I come from a middle-class family. And where I come from, the people cared about their lawns.
Do they like 4-4 defenses?
Look, I have a gun too, okay? So
watch out for the strikes.
The page.
Watch out for the strikes. I'm on strike watch right now. I'm every time I literally started to pivot in my head and see we're on strike watch. Neal, speaking of bad 4-4 defenses, last night on Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills ran roughshod through the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Buffalo Bills dominate. Did you get a chance I know you watched some of the Bengals game. I know.
I saw.
I know you had to watch some of the Bengals game.
I did watch some of the Bengals game. I actually saw a little bit of the Bills game at the beginning, which is probably all I needed to see. I was trying to get what he said, what he meant, presented by myperfectfranchise.net. I was trying to get that done.
Tip of the cap.
And so
to the troll master.
I finished that up in around the Lane made that easy. He was like, well,
I didn't realize when I texted you yesterday, had you already started writing your article? Or had you
in my brain?
But it wasn't published.
No.
Okay. Well, after I sent it, I saw the article. I was like, damn, did I just send him something? He was like, hey, dumbass, appreciate you reading my shit.
Yeah. No. Okay. No. As that press conference was unfolding, I was like, well, I know where that came from. That was like, that question was planted. I have no doubt that question was planted, and I respected it. I respected it. It was like, hey, I'm going to get to this, and here we go. Even Mark Stoops took a shot at it yesterday.
Well, I mean, everybody is. I mean, turn the page. I mean, everybody is.
The page.
Everybody is. Where's our guy? We had a guy here last week. We were doing the turn the page and middle class family stuff last week on the show.
Yeah.
Some guy was really pissed. He's like, "Can we just talk football and stop giving all the political references?" I was like, "Damn, cuz get your own show and you can talk about whatever you want to."
I mean, no. How about that? No.
No.
I mean, we do 4.5 hours a week You and me on this show.
Minimum.
Yeah, I mean, and then you do what, 16 lives a week? I mean, all
Yeah,
joke.
it feels like I try to do one every day.
Okay, so let's call it 7 lives that are how long?
Between an hour and 2 hours.
So let's call them an hour and a half. So 10 and a half hours. So we're doing 15 hours of McCready and Siskey.
Football.
And of that, like all but like maybe 5 minutes is football. I mean, come on.
Cut us some slack, Holmes.
I mean, that's that deal where it's like, hey, dude, come on now. You live in we're living in. There are things in the world outside of football. It's real.
But sir, do you know what you can do? You can turn the page. All right. Back to football. All right. Buffalo Bills 47, Jacksonville Jaguars 10. Bills. I actually took this game. I took the Bills. The line was kind of creeped me out a little bit because I figured out what was I missing. The line started dropping almost like 1.5 points before, and I was like, "Oh, dude, somebody's inactive." It's Allen hurt. Didn't matter. The Bills crushed the Jaguars. It was kind of AJ and I were texting during the start of the game. He was pretty on point with both of these. You know, he said the Jaguars look inept offensively.
Yeah.
I had
they look very frustrated.
I had like a 9 team. I did my first big player prop deal last night, and I hit 8 of the 9. This always happens to me when I do player prop parlays. I hit 8 of the 9. The one I missed is I had Trevor Etienne scoring a touchdown. I literally got everything else, and he did not get in the end zone.
Trevor Lawrence looked like a kid who has begun to realize that he's not getting what he wanted for Christmas. That it's not going to happen, and that he's got to go through the rest of this build up to the holiday pretending to be a good boy.
They are not very good on offense at all. I mean, quickly have, and how much of it is no Calvin Ridley and Evan Ingram's out. You know, he's missing some pieces, and obviously Calvin Ridley's gone. And they got the rookie Thomas from LSU, but they're not there. The Bills, on the other hand, are playing at a very high level right now.
Yeah, he's right now the MVP of the league.
I mean, playing at an extremely high level. They got dudes. It's been very, very. They're a fun team to watch too. Commanders 38, or Bengals 33, and then I don't know if I got to give him credit because everybody's going to forget about it. We're not going to talk about it. Cole's probably didn't clip it, but yesterday on the show, we were asked AJ about this, and he starts talking about Jamar Chase, and he literally said, "You got to get him involved early, like throwing a now screen to him, like to start the game." You know what they did the first play of the game yesterday? They threw a now screen to Jamar Chase first play. AJ was like, "I was on that one." I was like, "Yeah, you were."
They got him involved early, the early touchdown, but the story for the Bengals was defensively that was borderline criminal.
Well, really, to be honest with you, it was criminal on both sides. You know that neither team punted. Neither team had a turnover. So it was literally both sides were just getting. Now, the difference was
Washington held them to some field goals.
Yeah, the difference was red zone. Right. They missed a field goal. I think they were 2 of 4 red zone-ish. I think I saw the stats.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
I made it to halftime.
Washington was 3 of 3 in the red zone, and they were like 2 of 4 or something like that in the red zone.
I knew it was one of those deals where if I started the second half, I'd finish it, and so I'm like, nope, I'm turning it off. Turning it off.
Tri-City Saviors, subscribe. Appreciate you, dog. If you're in the chat today and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. We're trying to get this bad boy to 10,000. We've been making a lot of pace here lately, so let's keep up the good work. Thank you very much for joining us, Tri-City.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tri-City.
Other story of this game, dude. Jaden Daniels looked like a dude last night.
Because he is a dude.
I'm talking about, but it was different. It was different.
But
it was different. It was like elite. I mean, it was like you wouldn't know that the guy, you know how you see like rookies play well and have a good game. This was like a good quarterback having a good game. He was completely in control of the game.
I don't think people fully appreciate how great a season he had last year at LSU. I really don't. I think because LSU was so bad defensively and the defense, that storyline ate a lot of oxygen and caused them to lose a couple of games. And then, he got knocked out of the Alabama game.
Yeah.
And, he lost the Ole Miss game where Ole Miss was not a great defensive team last year, but they were not bad. And LSU went for, I don't know. I don't remember the total number of yards. And if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you got it wrong. So it was a lot. And yet, Ole Miss still won the game because LSU couldn't stop them. I don't know. There's something about him. You ever met him?
Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
I ended up in Nashville at SEC Media Days last year, not the one this past year in Dallas, but the one a year ago in Nashville, and ended up having, I don't know, a fairly lengthy conversation where it was basically just me and him. And I was so impressed with him. Very charismatic, clearly very intelligent. The way he looked you in the eye when you talked, the way that he just carried on a conversation. There was just a sharpness about him that was really impressive. And then when you began to talk about football, because it was, hey, at that point, it was, what did you learn in season 1 after transferring from Arizona State? What was different? And you didn't get the throwaway answer. You got this detailed answer about, I specifically saw this and this and this, and you realized this, and I knew I had to get bigger. I knew I had to get stronger. I knew there were things I had to work on, and I remember thinking, man, this is the kind of guy that in a meeting room. This is before the Magic Heisman season. In a meeting room, NFL guys are going to fall in love with him because you can't coach the brain, man. You can't make a guy be smarter.
No,
you can't. And this kid's really smart. I mean, this kid is.
You'd be pretty cool if you could figure that out.
Yeah, you in a lot more than football. You could do a lot, right? This kid's really bright. He, and I think he's a fairly deep thinker a little bit. I'm not one that puts a ceiling on him. I mean, I know people talk about his frame. They say he's got to get bigger. He's a little frail. He's going to break down physically, and maybe, I don't know. There are tall, lean guys that have had long careers in the NFL at quarterback. He's got an electric arm. He's a tremendous athlete. He knows how to protect himself when he's going to get hit. I thought Washington did a really good job with game planning for him, letting him kind of build some confidence, and then dude just starts making throws, man. And then after a while, you're like, hey, this kid's different, and he's special.
Yeah, he played well. And I thought Burrow played good. I mean, you look at the stats, and I know I hate doing stats, but this can't be ignored. Daniels was 21 of 23 for 254 and 2 tugs.
Yeah. And
ran for another one. And then Burrow was 29 of 38 for 324 and 3 tugs, no picks. So they're both fine. The different, Bengals.
LSU's had a nice little quarterback run.
Pretty salty
run.
Pretty
good little quarterback run when it includes Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels.
And Nussmeier.
And I know. I got pushback on that just yesterday.
Who is
just people in general are like you're I don't know why you're hyping.
If you tell me that
Garrett Nussmeier,
seriously, if somebody says, "Hey, Garrett Nussmeier is not a good quarterback," I everything else you say after that is like this: womp 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 womp. Because if you can't see that, then you have no business talking about the sport of football. You should just go try talking about turning the page. Try talking about that you grew up in a middle class family.
I think what it is.
Try talking about that you put lines in your lawn. And you sit at the table, Neal, and you worry about, how am I going to buy groceries this week? That's what you should probably talk about.
You know, it's fun. I'm not going to go there.
That was for you, hater. It's coming all day because you know what today is, Neal? It's Turn the Page Tuesday, and I'm 15 minutes into the show, and the rain is already gone. That's what's coming today.
I think what it is with Nussmeier is they're comparing him to Daniels, and because they're such completely different players.
They're different players.
Obviously, Nussmeier doesn't have the wheels that Jaden Daniels has. And so I think that's part of it. And as for your other topic, how they can get away with that, they are the ticket of change when she's the sitting vice president, is beyond me.
Love it. All right, a little sad news today. I mean, it was kind of like hit me a little bit. Brett Favre announces today in a congressional hearing that he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Saw that.
That's sad, man. I don't care. I get all the other stuff and all that, but you don't want a human being to go through that.
No, of course not.
That's a sad deal.
Is Brett's mom still alive?
I don't know that. But that's a sad deal.
She is, hopefully still is, a really sweet woman.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago, but it's one of my more I guess it would have been 2006. It was the off season after his dad died. Remember his dad died and he played on that Monday night?
Yep.
It was that next off season. The Mobile paper sent me to do a big "This Is Your Life" Brett Favre story. And I talked to everybody with the last name of Favre except for him until like the last minute. He wasn't, I think it decided he just wasn't going to do it. And I think his mother said, "You need to talk to that guy. He came to Kiln and talked to your sister and your brother and me and all this stuff." And so at halftime of a preseason game between the Saints and the Packers at Lambeau, I'd given up. I'd already filed the story. The Packers media relations person comes up to me and says, "Brett will talk to you at halftime." And I was like, "What?" "Brett will talk to you at halftime." And so at halftime, they escorted me down after the two teams had taken the field again for the third quarter. They took me down. It was just me and Brett Favre in the middle of the Lambeau Field Packers locker room for like 20 minutes. And I was really kind of wanting just to go, "Why didn't you just talk to me on Thursday? This would have been so easy."
He's talking to you in the middle of a preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, he'd already played his series or whatever.
Still different. The game's there's a game going on out there.
He just decided, I guess before the game, he must have heard something from his family or something that he was supposed to talk to me and didn't. And so I scrambled back up and I called this is back in the day where you had deadlines. It wasn't the internet where, "Hey, we'll post it whenever." It was like, "No, I mean, I had a deadline." And I called him. I was like, "I just talked to him. I need to rewrite some things." And you could hear like this just panic back in Mobile. And I'm like, "I generally know what I'm doing. Give me 30 minutes, and I did it. And it was just, whew, that was a night." And then
So you're telling me you wasn't watching the second half very closely that day?
I don't know that I saw a single snap of the second half. And then I went down and still had to go do the Saints stuff, Saints coverage, like on deadline. And that was one of those nights I got back to the hotel in Green Bay and it was like, "Where is the bar? Show me a bar, any bar."
Well, now you just come home from the game and you get on your old YouTube machine over there and it's me, Jeffrey, and Chase just drinking away. So times have changed, boss.
They have certainly changed. A different world, man.
All right, Neal, I got some life advice today. Can you tell me about my good friend Cole Walters before we get to turn the page?
Life advice presented by Cole Walters of State Farm Insurance. Cole Walters licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, and pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. Contact Cole at 706-525-7850. You can also find him online at colewaltersinsurance.com.
I think you're going to be able to you will be able to chime in on this one as well. There is a hurricane brewing in the Gulf of Mexico.
Helene.
She got her name today. Yeah. We knew it was coming. We knew she was going to be born.
She was named today.
Officially named today, Helene.
Easy to baptize her since she's in the water.
Yes, quickly.
Just baptize.
This one's going to be it's going to move very quickly. So right now it is, as we are talking right now, it is Tuesday at 2:24 Central. This thing will hit in probably 36 hours or so. And it's going to be, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to hit the Florida Panhandle," is what all the models look like. But here's my life advice. Don't play around with this stuff. Don't be a Superman hero. You don't have time. Make sure you're prepared and whatever, because this is not one of those deals that you got 4 or 5 days. It's coming quickly. And this is from experience. Once they get in the Gulf, you don't know. And the water is hot. And everybody's like, "Oh, I saw the models last week or late last week, early this week. Or, oh, it's going to be a 1 or 2. And like, no, there's never been a hurricane ever go into the Gulf of Mexico in September and it's always stronger than they say it's going to be. This one's going to be a bad one, and it's the storm surge and everything else, but make sure you take all your precautions. All of our good friends on the coast, and even don't trust the models. I've seen them. They're off all the time. Make sure you're at least prepared. I stayed through Katrina. I left during Ivan. I stayed during Katrina.
Same. I left Ivan. Got sent back. We just bought a new house. Got sent back the morning after. And then for Katrina, I was like, "I'm not leaving. Just go." Laura left. Kids left. Yep. Just me and I guess then it was Wrigley and Miller, my late Labrador Retrievers. We waited it out together.
Yeah, Katrina was no joke now.
No, Katrina was no joke. I was in Mobile. I was actually in Spanish Fort.
I was in Sims at that time.
Yeah. 100-mile-an-hour winds in where we were.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Boy, That must be something else over there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was.
Dog, I tell people all the time, one of the most, when you see things that you'll just never forget. I mean, I'll go to the grave remembering this. I think I've told this on our show, but maybe in like episode 2 when we talked about it. So it's been a while. We've gotten a lot of new listeners since then. Thomas Smith was our offensive line coach, and him and his wife, they lived in Midtown, and we lived in Sims, and we lived up on we're up on a hill, and there, Midtown would flood a lot, right? In Mobile. So they came and stayed with us. And the direction that the wind was blowing, me and Thomas sat in our garage and just cracked open Diet Miller after Diet Miller after Diet Miller and opened the garage door up, and it was blowing over the house. And it was a new neighborhood. So we were like the 6th house built in this neighborhood. And so there's a lot of, you're in a construction zone or whatever. And I saw 2 things. It was just the most amazing thing in nature. You would hear it. You would hear the wind gust coming. So the wind was blowing. It's like sustained at my house at like 105, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But the wind gusts were going up to like 155.
Yep.
And you could hear the gust coming. And it sounded like everybody says it, but it does. It sounds like a train.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it's like, woo. It gets on you. It goes, woo, and it'll blow for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then it woo, backs down and back to 100, and you can hear it coming. And so you would hear it, and we had all these pine trees across the street, and the pine trees would lay down when
they
it
would
hit them,
bend.
They would go all the way.
I know, it's craziest thing I ever saw.
I know, it's wild.
The pine trees would do like
the whole
this.
forest, the entire forest of pine trees would lay down like flat, and you're like,
and then they'd pop back up.
And then when it stopped, the gust, they would pop back up, and the recoil would snap them, and the ones that snap would go snap, woo, and would just take them.
It was wild,
and it was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And then I saw my next door neighbor, and this couldn't have been from here to the door right here. My next door neighbor had probably like a 30-foot oak tree in their yard, and it just waterlogged. It fell over in front of us, and it fell the other direction. But then the wind picked it up, and I saw it pick the freaking tree up and threw it in the air across the street, over the roof across the street into their backyard. Absolutely.
Wow.
And it was nuts. It took my air conditioning unit and threw my air conditioning unit in the street. I mean, it was wild, man.
We were just in the outside of it.
Yeah, we wasn't in the part.
I was even further to the east than where you were. Mm-hmm. So I was.
But like Ivan.
But I saw the trees do that and stuff, and it was like wild.
Ivan hit further. Was probably worse there. But Ivan was. If you're on the west side of for people that don't know, if you're on the west, you can be on the west side wall, and it's not that bad. It's that east side that will get you and mess you up pretty good. So please take care of that. Make sure you're good. That coming up here in the next 36 hours. All right, Neal, it's time to turn the page for this week's game. We got some good games this week. It's starting to get, now we're getting into the real good meat of the college football season. Starting Friday night, Virginia Tech at Miami. Virginia Tech struggling. I always tell y'all when I'm wrong. I was wrong on the Hokies. I was a lot higher on the Hokies coming into the season. I don't think I'm alone on that, but I was very high on them. They have not played well. They're going to Miami. They're on a different plane right now, boys. Miami is on a whole different planet. Cam Ward is him. Miami is favored by 19, and Neal, that's probably not enough. That's Friday night game, so everybody's going to get to see Miami up close and personal again. They're playing extremely, extremely well. I look for them to put that one away. What happened?
Someone sent me a cartoon.
Oh,
sorry.
Gotcha.
It's Hugh Freeze dressed up in South Park stuff. It's funny. I'm sorry.
You guys. All right, 11 a.m. I know you're fired up. It's the very first game. I knew you're fired up because it's the very first game that ESPN shows on their Saturday slate. The Kentucky Wildcats.
I love you, ESPN.
The Kentucky Wildcats are coming to Oxford, Mississippi.
Yes,
Neal.
11 a.m. Central Daylight Time.
Ole Miss is favored by 17.5 points.
11 a.m.
I've said this before. I think I know where I'm going on this game. I am going to play this game on Thursday on Make It Rain. I am playing it. Go ahead and tell y'all I'm probably playing the under. I think Kentucky, you just don't know. who's showing? Is this South Carolina, Kentucky, or is this Georgia, Kentucky, or is this, they've kind of been up
Do you mind
and down.
flying solo for 3 minutes?
Nope. Go ahead. The meme, was that funny? No, you're good. But Kentucky, here's the deal is, in my opinion, I think Kentucky will show up particularly on defense. I think you're going to see some things offensively from them that will give at least a challenge to what Ole Miss has seen so far. Obviously, the best opponent Ole Miss has played so far because they haven't played anyone. And Kentucky, who's showing up? They're probably the hardest team for me to figure out. Moving, like, again, preseason, I had them anything from 6-6 to 9-3. They're probably in the middle of there somewhere. I like the under in this game. It's at 50 something. I can't remember what it was. It's in the 50s. I think the speed of the game. I think the defensive line of Kentucky will at least force Ole Miss to punt a few times. I don't think Ole Miss is in any danger of losing the game by any stretch of the imagination. But I do think this is a lower scoring game. And I also think Kentucky is going to struggle on offense. So I can see this being like a 28-10 game, which will put you right on the spread number, 28-10, 31-10, somewhere like that. That's kind of where I'm at with that game. Is it 51.5, Grind? I see you in the chat. 51.5. I think I saw it in 50s. I do like the under in that game. All right, in another ranked matchup that I don't think either team should probably be ranked, but they still are, that's Oklahoma State is going to Kansas State. Oklahoma State has kind of looked in 2 games, just looked like and they've ended up going 1-1 those games. They should have gone 0-2. They beat Arkansas because Arkansas must have punt. Kansas State, I'm staying away from this game. Kansas State is favored by 4 points in this game. I am staying away from it because Kansas State is at home. Kansas State's getting this thing where they're turning very Texas Techy to where they play really well at home and they are struggling on the road. They look terrible Saturday night against BYU. I got on that and took BYU plus 7.5 late and hit. Oklahoma State is just okay. I don't think they're great, but they're both ranked teams. I don't see it. This is probably for 3rd place in the Big 12 anyway. I'm not there with it. I'm just going to stay away from it. I don't know who shows up on either side. All right. You good?
Oh, yeah. She needed some. She was not prepared for the rain and needed something to brought in out of the rain.
Yes.
So
is it raining outside?
It is raining outside.
As soon as you left, I heard it hit the window. I was like, oh, look. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
BYU is at Baylor. I feel like I'm missing something here. I need some help here. I need help. I need better help.
Well, you know who to come to because, boy, your boy's rolling on the college picks. What do you want to know?
This feels very trappy.
Trappy.
BYU is undefeated. They just beat Kansas State by like 800 points this past weekend. Baylor just lost to Colorado. That should tell you all you need to know. And Baylor is a 3.5-point favorite at home over an undefeated BYU team. So I don't understand this.
BYU is not the same team on the road as it is at home for some reason.
So far they are. They beat SMU on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, SMU's not terrible. SMU's pretty good. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I just don't. I think BYU is really good up front. I don't see what Baylor has. Baylor is average as grits. I don't see this one. I don't understand this one. It's probably money line contender, but I'm probably going to fall right in the trap. That is trappy as all traps. All right, I want to talk about this game because nobody is talking about these guys enough. I won't be picking it because this is Quick U versus Quick U. But the Maryland Terrapins are traveling to Bloomington, Indiana, and very quietly. It's very disrespectful. To all you AP voters out there, this is very disrespectful. There's absolutely zero reason that Indiana shouldn't be in the top 25.
I had Indiana in my top 25 on Sunday.
But you don't do an AP vote, though.
Well, no, because I'm not a good enough journalist.
Yeah.
I was once good enough to do it. In fact, 3 different times I was good enough to be an AP voter. But now that I'm such a big fan,
but you know what you have to do
for a fan site. There's no way. I mean, listen. If there's one thing we've learned in 2024 is that mainstream journalism is incredibly objective and would never, ever compromise their journalistic values. So it's understandable why they would say no, Neal. No, you're working for a fan site now.
Hey, so Indiana is really good on offense. They're playing really well on defense. They're favored by 7. Like, if they win this, Indiana's going to be 5-0.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just telling you. They're a dangerous team.
That's your guy, Signetti,
That's my guys.
Right? Yeah.
My guy Signetti was on Coach Saban's first staff at Alabama, by the way. He was the wide receivers coach the very first year he got to Tuscaloosa.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're playing really well. So got my guy Matt Wilson up there too. Mike Ferraro. They got a good staff. They're rolling. All right, in the Big Ten matchup we've been waiting on all year. Wisconsin traveling to USC for the Big Ten matchup.
Big game for Wisconsin fans.
It's just wild that we're calling this a Big Ten matchup.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm going with this. That's the only reason it's on here. Wisconsin had a bye week last week. It hit at the right time. Tyler Van Dyke out for the year. That was did you see his injury against Alabama?
I was in a bar in Winston-Salem grabbing some lunch. I did not see exactly what happened, but I saw it was on the sideline, and he didn't come back.
Like when they showed it live and all that, you're like, what happened? And then they showed an angle like in the second half from behind, and dude, it was one of those ugly ones where the old knee goes the wrong directions.
Oh.
It was not pretty. But he's done for the year.
That's a shame. It is really.
They're down to a backup quarterback. They're going to have to run the ball. I imagine I'm going to look at the total in this game. I imagine that Wisconsin is going to try to shorten the game this week. Longo is going to go anti-Longo. They can't get into a shooting match with Miller Moss and USC. They have to slow the game down. And look, you can say what you want to about Wisconsin. And Longo been up there, they can still run the ball at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They still know how to run the ball. So that will be interesting, especially what Michigan did to USC in the run game. But again, USC's problems against Michigan was not run fit related. It was just tackling issues, and they ran through them. All right, a game that I'm all in on, another ranked versus ranked teams. I'm all in on. This has got probability of money line probability for your boy coming on. Make It Rain Thursday is the Louisville Cardinals are traveling to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame is favored by 6.5. Look, they've done a hell of a job. He's got them. I mean, look, let's be real. Right now, I think they've won 11, 12, 13, 14. They were like 15-1 in the last 16 games or something, and nobody's even talking about them. Like they're
ranked.
Yeah, but in the conversation, everybody talks about Miami. They talk about Clemson. They talk about everybody. Nobody's really talking about Louisville. Interesting game here. I like Louisville here because I think if it gets into a scoring match, I think they can outscore Notre Dame. I know Dre's probably in here. He probably doesn't like that, but I like Louisville with a chance to outscore Notre Dame at the Golden Dome. And if that happens, Mark Freeman's going to be on watch. Just letting everybody know that.
Shout out to Lee Schaff, 55. Says he's trying his first rainstorm harvest grape in honor of me.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Tastes like grape Fanta.
It does taste like grape Fanta in many ways,
It
but
does.
better.
But better.
And better for you.
It is.
Much better for you.
Do you know it has BCAAs and electrolytes?
No sugar.
Zero sugar.
Zero sugar.
Do you know it's got what
Fanta can't say that.
Fanta can't say that at all. Do you know it's got what you need to push your limits?
And achieve your goals, too.
And achieve your goals?
Indeed.
You know what else you should do? You should check them out on Instagram. It Rain Total Body Fuel.
I mean, if you're on social media, you certainly should.
All right, Neal. We got the SEC here. We got the Oklahoma Sooners with a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Announced yesterday that he was putting Jackson Arnold on the side, traveling to Auburn to play I don't know what quarterback.
Well, it doesn't really matter because the great news for Auburn is if they don't win the first one, they get to try 9 more times. It's cool. I mean, it could be a long day. 9 games. Finish sometime Monday. You got to do what you got to do.
Out of control. All right, here we go. This game right here. Let's talk about the actual football part of this game. Look, Oklahoma.
Wide open quarterback competition this week.
Well, it's the best defense that's Auburn's played by far without even question coming in this week. Oklahoma is a real deal on defense. Offensively, they have to find a way to move the football. And I think Hawkins gives them. Michael Hawkins is the replacement for Jackson Arnold. When he came in the game, he just looked like he was playing. You know what I'm saying? Instead, Jackson Arnold was looking. He almost was trying to be too perfect in the game against Tennessee. And then when Hawkins came in, he did some. He just played, was an athlete, and I think it gave him a little chance to have a little life there. I think this total is low, and I think this goes low.
I do too.
And I know, and I get, let's talk, the actual football part of it.
Sure.
From the quarterback's standpoint at Auburn, at the end of the day, whoever it is, they have to find a way to make better decisions and run the offense.
All right, but tell me this though.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being sarcastic. I've done plenty of that in the last few days. So in this moment, I'm being serious.
Okay.
Is how much risk has Freeze put himself in terms of his team, in terms of having quarterbacks looking over their shoulders every time that they don't make a good read or make a bad throw or whatever? I mean, do you get the quarterbacks tentative because they're so afraid of making a mistake?
It depends on the quarterback, right? I don't know their personality. Right. Perfect example. The guys that we've had on our show, Bo Wallace and A.J. McCarron, dude, they wouldn't even flinch.
Yeah.
It depends on the mentality of the kids, and we don't know that. I don't know that. He knows it. I don't know it. But here's the deal. And somebody brought this up today or yesterday on live, whenever it was, is this offense is not like people think, oh, it's too complex. You're doing too many things. It's not complex. It's not complex. Like, if it's 3rd and 1, okay, it's 3rd and 1, and we call it an RPO, guess what we want you to do?
Run.
We want you to run the damn ball, not freaking pull it and throw a freaking pick. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't rocket science. If they're in Mel Kiper cover 2, okay, that's what I'm going to start calling it. Mel Kiper cover 2, and you got an RPO called, and you got inside leverage with your safety, and you got a glance route called by number 2, and you got inside leverage with safety and inside leverage the backer. Don't throw the glance. Hand the ball off. Like, this isn't hard. If you, in that offense, I'm just being honest, in that offense, if you stay on schedule, okay, what staying on schedule is keep us out of negative plays. If we call an RPO on 1st and 10, the first quarter, and you got one-on-one, yeah, take the shot. Cool. But don't take if it's 3rd and 2 and they're impressed and we got duo called, don't throw the freaking 50-yard fade on 3rd and 2. Like, it's like common sense police.
But that's telling me that he has those guys really thinking and not reacting.
Not thinking. But that's what I'm saying. It's never happened before.
Not just playing.
I would normally, here's the thing, where I'm having a tough time with, knowing what I know, where I'm having a tough time is this isn't the first time a quarterback's ever played in that system.
No.
Okay. It's been happening for a while.
Been running that system for a bit.
This problem has never occurred. Okay. Ever. It's not a hard, like everybody's like, oh, it's too complicated. No, it's not. It is not complicated. It's really not. Like, if you've ever got a piece of paper and drawn up X's and O's, it's not complicated. It's really not. And so that's where I get frustrated, is because of the decision making. I'm like, God dang, let's go. Like, let's get to 2nd and 6 and not get in 2nd and 10. Let's don't take sacks. When we pull it, don't pull it when you got freaking hammers and blitzes. You're not going anywhere. Hand the damn ball off. Like, common sense. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, Bo Wallace, and Bo will tell you, Bo's not the top 1,000th talented quarterback that's ever ran that system. But he's down. He understood it, and he ran the system, and he got us in the right play. Chad Kelly got him in the right play. Ryan Applin got him in the right play. And we can go down the freaking chain, man. Everybody got him in the right play. It's not a difficult system to learn. And so that part there frustrates me. And then here's the other thing, is for all the media people, they're trying to take takes on defense. I'm going to repeat this one more time. They've had 5 turnovers in one game, had 5 turnovers in another game, and they gave up 24 points. And I don't want to hear shit about giving up plays on 3rd and long. You just tip your hat. Hey, DJ Durkin, thank you, dog. You kept them to 24 points after 5 turnovers. Thank you, dog. Hey, you kept them to 21 points. Thank you. I don't give a shit about I know you gave up that long play on 3rd down. Hey, dog. Hey.
Other teams make plays too. Right.
Tip of the cap, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, you hold them to 24 and 21 points, they're giving you a chance to win the game.
No, they're losing because of offense. And I think it's the reason that he's losing his mind a little bit, is that
he's frustrated.
That's his side of the ball. And he knows that, look, Arkansas bust a coverage on 4th down the other day, or else that game's over. It's night. you're giving him the ball down 10 at your own 30. I mean, they went for it. Auburn went for it 4th and long at their own 30-something.
Yeah.
And converted. Got a touchdown. So a well-executed play, but it was a bust by Arkansas. The safety tried to jump up. If I remember it right, he tried to jump a route and he missed it and off to the races. Had he just played it, I think inside leverage is what y'all call it. Had he just played it the right way, it's not a first down, your ball, probably ball game. So I mean, they've got a myriad of issues on offense. And listen, this is a big game for both teams.
Big.
This is a big game for Oklahoma. It's a big game for Oklahoma. I'm telling you, that's gonna get weird there. This is sourced.
I heard.
That's gonna get weird there if they don't win at Auburn.
I will say this. I've heard probably the same stuff you've heard. I totally just 300%, 1,000% disagree with that. I think Venables is doing a great job. Great job. He's the right guy for the job. Y'all just need to let the guy. He had to completely retool a roster.
I know.
Per sources. All right, completely retool a roster, and he's done a great job at it.
I'm not saying it's the right thing.
And he's got here's what's wrong with Oklahoma right now. They had to replace 5 offensive linemen, and they got 2 quarterbacks in the room that have 4 starts combined. Just let them cook. Let the cook cook. Let them cook. They're going to be fine because their defense is good enough. Here's the thing. Their defense is good enough that later on the year, if they can start figuring it out on offense, they're going to win games because their defense is going to keep them in football games.
You know what this is? This is a prime example of what I tell you about paper losses versus emotion losses.
Yep.
In June, when you're like, hey, man, it's young quarterback, young offensive line, tough league, tough schedule, you guys are going to lose some games. Yeah, I know. It's going to be tough, but we're going to get through it. Boy, we got – and then in the real life, when it happens in real life, it's kind of almost like a fight, a boxing fight. You're all prepared, right? But the one thing you can't fully prepare for until it happens is when you get punched really hard.
Yeah.
And then you find out, okay, all right, what's my plan? When I panic a little, right? When you get thrown off a little. That's where they are, right? They just got punched. And in this league, you're going to get punched. No matter who you are, you're going to take some shots. And they just took one. And this is the hard part of this league is that you get Tennessee at home. You get a big game, ABC, the whole shooting match. You don't get it done. Everybody gets a little emotional, and now you got to turn around and you got to go to Auburn and play kind of a desperate team because, listen, all the freeze stuff aside, it's a big game.
Yeah, no, it is.
If they lose this game,
because you get to know what's coming.
Going into an open date with Georgia, Missouri, and Kentucky on the road, on the other side of this, been there. I'm telling you that deal gets weirder than it is already. And so far, this isn't a criticism, it's just a fact. So far, Freeze has not handled the weird well.
Right. When you look at this game, okay, I think Oklahoma wins this game. I think Oklahoma covers the spread. I don't think it's getting fixed this week.
I don't either.
I don't. Maybe if you had a bye week or something, you make it work something out. And then real quick in the Cooper Chevrolet chat, Brent Bean says, then maybe coach it better and not call the RPO if they can't trust them to make the right decisions on 3rd and 1? ? He's asking a question.
It's a fair question.
It is a fair question. I'm going to answer it. So that's why I went to it. It's a very fair question.
Yeah.
So in order to change, all right, let's say we're running inside zone. Okay, we're running an RPO off of it. In order to change, okay, now the change would be, hey, we're going to lock everything and do all that stuff. You have to change what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people do, okay? You have to make a call to change what 5 people do because one guy can't make the right decision. Okay? And so it's about time and preparation. Like here was my thing. And it's a completely before I want you to understand it, Brent. I think that's a completely fair question.
It's a real good question because it's a question, frankly, that a lot of people who watch football on Saturday go, why not just run it?
Because you've taught all these guys with the mic points and all that stuff, what you're blocking. You're going to have to change blocking schemes and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because one guy can't make the right decision. And so for me as a coach, it comes down, and this is a coaching part now. This is the coaching decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's that you got to sit down with your guy, whoever the guy is, and you got to say, look, this is the bar, okay? I'm not lowering the bar because you're not meeting it. You got to raise your shit. You got to do your job. That's the thing. It's like, we're not asking you to do something complicated here.
Okay, can I play devil's advocate?
Sure, but you're not asking the guy to do anything complicated.
Right. I understand. But I'm kind of being pragmatic more than I'm being devil's advocate, okay? I understand completely what you're saying. But what if, and I'm just asking, so don't yell at me. What if they can't do it? Do you go into the open date and go, all right, I can't go into the free agent market here. There is no waiver wire. Do you go into the open date and change it and, as you said, lock it down and do different things? Or do you keep going, no, this is the bar, damn it, get there? What if it becomes obvious?
I understand what you're saying.
What if it becomes obvious that it's possible that they can't get that bar, that they just can't for whatever reason? And I know for coaches that's really frustrating. But what if?
If it was to that point, you would have to change what you're doing. But like when I say this is not complicated, Neal, this would be like, hey, Neal, this would be like me saying, hey, Neal, I need you to push the button to go live here. You just got to push that button to go live. And you go, I just can't figure it out. I'm going to throw away Ecamm and I'm going to StreamYard because I can't find the go live button.
I understand.
Do you know? I mean, like it's that simple.
I do.
It's not complicated.
But
I can't stress that enough.
Something's happening.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm frustrated because I know the offense. It's not complicated. Like, Neal, how many quarterbacks do you think I've seen in this system? I'm talking about backups and everything.
I mean, a bunch.
I've never seen this.
Yeah. Which tells me that it's mental at this point.
I've never seen this. Backups included. Never seen it.
It tells me it's mental. That's what it tells me. It tells me that people are freaking out.
Scout team included.
People are freaking out, and you hear the whole, well, they're doing it in practice, but not in the game. Tells me it's mental. That you maybe need some guys to calm down a little. Maybe guys are trying too hard. Maybe they're too freaked out. I don't know.
They're definitely wound tight. I can tell you that.
Well,
you can see the anxiety out there.
You
but
need to figure out a way to unwind them.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't, Neal McCready. No.
You know, what are ways for someone to relax? I mean, have a drink. That's probably not a great idea before you play a football game. Have a smoke. Some people do that. I mean, the 2011 Ole Miss football team allegedly did a lot of that. Didn't really work.
Per sources.
Didn't work, but I think they were relaxed. I don't know. I mean, yoga? Maybe some very light Pilates?
Nugs.
I mean, there's just things you could do.
A little ghost pepper in your life?
No, I wouldn't suggest that. That's if you really want some spice. I'm just thinking about something nice and relaxing. So it just takes the edge off.
You're rotten, dog. You're rotten. You're rotten. You're rotten.
I didn't say anything.
You're rotten.
I said Pilates.
I love you, though. But you're rotten.
I love you, too.
All right, Neal. Oh, you're rotten. All right. Arkansas going to Texas Jerry World versus Texas A&M.
Last year of this game in Jerry World. It's going to go to the campuses starting next year.
I'm for that, by the way.
I think everybody is.
Yeah.
Except the kids. The college kids are not for it.
Really?
As the father for the last 6 years.
They enjoyed it.
I can tell you that the trip to Dallas is highly anticipated and very, very enjoyed, and it's kind of expensive. But yes, I don't know about Texas A&M. I think they take a lot of fans to this, but like the Arkansas campus apparently empties out and goes to Dallas.
It was almost like a fall break, almost kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, and I know we're probably getting close to time that Connor Wegman's coming back at some point in time. I still think Marcel Reed gives them the best chance offensively because it's harder to prepare for when you have to count for a quarterback run.
Have they said what they're doing this week?
I haven't seen anything. But I do think Marcel Reed, and maybe they have somebody on the chat may can tell us, but I think Marcel Reed gives them the best chance from a schematic standpoint to move the football. I don't think between him and Connor Wegman, I don't think you lose anything in the throwing game, but you gain so much more in the running game. And when you gotta account for extra bodies in the box and extra gap, man, it makes things a little bit more difficult on the defense, and it will actually help him in the passing game when they do need it. Arkansas, on the other hand, Green is still decision wise. I don't think the receivers are overly great there. I think Texas A&M can handle them on defense, particularly in the wide receiver DB matchup. I actually think Texas A&M walks away with this one. I don't think.
Really?
Okay. I don't think this is going to be actually a particularly close one.
Okay.
I think this is a double-digit win by Texas A&M and Jerry World.
I'm devastated.
I know. I just think it's time. I think it's a double-digit win for Texas A&M. I also said Texas was going to blow out Michigan, so take that for a grain of salt.
All right. They did blow out Michigan.
I mean, I said not Texas. USC was going to blow out.
Yeah. Arkansas is just kind of funny right now because they've had an inability, and this is probably programmatic at this point, right? But they've had an inability to put full games together. Like they can play a good half, then they can't answer and their offense will have like 3 series in a row where you're like, oh boy, they're about to get going.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about frustrated offensive coordinators.
Yeah, you can see it with Petrino.
They played right into their hands. Auburn played right into their hands, and there wasn't a whole lot they could do with it. Auburn was playing a ton in the game Saturday, a ton of man free in the game. And he was hitting all the crossers and all that stuff, and he had guys, and he couldn't see them and turn the ball over, and they just couldn't separate.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, dude, this is right up Petrino's. Like, dude, you line up to run the same coverage against Petrino, you usually will get carved up, and they didn't.
Yeah. Yet the kid is so athletic that
you can't take him off the field.
Always make a play because he's such a freak.
Can't take him off the field.
I mean, I don't think people fully grasp how athletic this kid is. I was talking to an NFL guy. I think I told you this yesterday. I was talking to an NFL guy Saturday night in Oxford, and he was just raving about him. Like, hey, I saw him at Boise. I've seen him practice. I've seen him at Fayetteville practicing. And he's like, you just don't understand the tools. Yeah. And for an NFL, that's just intoxicating. Like,
it is.
Oh, my God, you're going to give me a 6'6" guy who can throw it 1,000,000 miles, who can run like a gazelle. And he's not skinny. I mean, he's
put together.
He's apparently like
because he's tall,
physically really looks the part.
Yeah, he does do that. This is interesting. Crash says in the Cooper Chevrolet chat says Norman Paper saying that the OKC area got a 40% bump in revenue in the first SEC weekend over the average Big 12 weekend.
Yeah,
even got an extra day's worth of revenue since most Big 12 fans leave the area after the game. Welcome to it just means more, including revenue. Hey, those checks don't write themselves, boys.
Did you see the pictures of the Oklahoma City airport on Thursday? All the Tennessee people showing up. It's wild. I mean, look, it's why if you're Texas and you're Oklahoma, you're going. It's why I'm not to get on this topic. It's why if I'm North Carolina, I know they suck in football right now, but that's not the point. If I'm some of those teams, I'm looking at this going, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we thinking? Because like you see, forget the football a minute. Just forget the actual football. When you see that many thousands of people come crashing into your city and the revenue it produces, like Oklahoma comes here it's like end of October, I think. I don't remember the exact date. Forgive me. I'm sure someone's going to throw it up in the thing.
Yep.
They're expecting, for people who've never been to Oxford, when Ole Miss is in session, we're not talking about football for a minute. Just talking about money. When Ole Miss is in session, Oxford's probably, 65,000 people?
Oh, I didn't think it was that much.
And when I say, I mean,
like school.
The whole school, the county.
I would say 50, 45.
Okay, all right, call it 50.
But it's like 15 when nobody's here.
It's more than that.
You think?
Yeah. Oxford proper is.
No.
My guess is Oxford proper is like up to like 30,000 people. It's funny, I've lived here for this long, and I don't know how many people live here.
I can tell you this. But
the campus is what, 23 now? 24?
Yeah.
So if you combine, I mean, let's call it 50,000.
So Oxford, Mississippi population is 26,436.
Okay, sounds about
That's
right.
2022.
Okay. So let's call it 28. The campus is 23. So 51.
Yeah.
51,000 people. They're talking about 200,000 people in Oxford the weekend of Oklahoma at Ole Miss. You don't think
nuts.
about the economic impact of that.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's
You
unbelievable.
think about the Georgia game.
I mean, it'll be, but I mean, at some point, there's just only so many people you can literally fit into a place. But I mean, the point is you get to do that multiple times a year. I don't think you get that in Big 12 territory.
Randall says Lafayette County has 57,615. Okay. I don't feel that, but
yeah,
not man.
But yeah, you see my point,
yeah,
right?
100%.
And so, I mean, suddenly, you got all these people pouring into Oklahoma City and Norman and all. I mean, the economic impact is incredible.
I will be leaving.
And they'll
town.
get that, and they'll get that all the time.
Well, I told my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law came in to do some work this weekend, and he was talking about what games do I need to come to. I said I would come to I would make sure I get here before SEC play starts, or something different. I said because you may not be able to. It's gotten to the point now, even the airport, like people flying in, they can't even leave their planes here.
Yeah.
I said you'll have to leave the plane in Tupelo.
Yeah.
They're not even gonna let you park the plane because
Right.
they end up moving planes. That's how many people fly planes in here. They can't even house them at the airport. They have to send them to Tupelo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah.
All right. Colorado going to Central Florida. Central Florida is favored by 15. Welcome to the Big 12. You're in Orlando after a hurricane goes through. It'll be nice and toasty down in. Can you imagine the humidity?
Big Noon Saturday is going to be in Orlando, I think.
Well, they're going to be. Fox is doing the game, so I don't know what time it is, but I know they're doing the game.
But I mean, the pregame show is there.
I like Central Florida huge in this game.
I do too.
I think they're going to run rampant. All right, Mississippi State. We've got a couple more SEC games. Mississippi State's at Texas. Texas is getting 38.5 against Mississippi State. Look, I want to say this, and I got to ask by a Mississippi State fan today. Look, at the end of the day, I like Jeff Lebby. I think Jeff's going to do a great job at Mississippi State. He's got to get resources, which whatever this $8 million is, hopefully it goes to football. But they just don't have the horses right now. And so just it is what it is. Your quarterback just got hurt. Find a way to be competitive somehow, some way. Oof. But I'm going to say this, and I'm a defender of coaches, so y'all, come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Give all the hate to me.
Well, you might as well give Jeff time.
But you can't.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
You just can't reset coaches every year and expect – it's not a –
no.
In today's world, okay, and this is the only – I keep saying this, and everybody's like, oh, you're just – but I'm trying to be as clear and as honest as I can. In today's football and the change that's happened since pay for play, it's not even NIL, since the pay for play has taken off, okay, Neal, you and I can go coach a team that, I mean, seriously, you and I can go coach a team if you give us enough money and we're going to win games. You have to give, if you want to win a championship, you have to give championship resources. What team, I'm asking because I don't know, what team are we talking about right now in college football, in the media? And I say we as the media or whatever podcast for. What team are we talking about that can win it all that's not got a ton of money to pay on a roster?
Is that a trick question?
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, I don't.
There's not one, right?
I don't think there is one.
So that's my point. Is like,
and it takes time. It does. It still takes time. I mean, look, Mississippi State,
and you got to pay the right ones on top of it.
They might as well give Jeff 4 years. Might as well. Look, no one's talking about anything stupid, but in a world where you only give him 2 years, who are you replacing him with? Who's lining up to take the gig?
Well, that was somebody brought up. There was a Minnesota fan in the chat in the live earlier today. It says, "Hey, is PJ Fleck in trouble?" I said, "Why?" I said, "Who is going to take the Minnesota job and do a better job than?" First of all, who's going to take the Minnesota job and do a better job than PJ Fleck? I'll hang up and listen.
I mean, there might be somebody, but here's the problem: you might not. You might just get used.
Well, he actually brought up. He's like, "Well, the D-line coach is like the internet." I was like, "Come on,
yeah.
Come on now."
You're being emotional at that point.
Emotional, but look, I think Lebby is the right guy for the job. I do. I think he's a great football coach. He's a great person. His staff loves him. Just give him time and to be. I mean, you got to give. If you're a Mississippi State fan, you have to give them time. You can't replace and one of them was by death, and God rest his soul. But this is the third coach in 3 years.
Oh, I think you can trace a lot of their stuff back to firing Joe Moorhead when they did. I mean, I really do.
Yeah. You just can't keep firing coaches, and it's not the coach. Like, again, and it's different. This is not 5 years ago. 5 years ago, okay, let's talk. It's not 5 years ago anymore. It's a fundraising contest. Give them funds or deal with it. All right. I'm only bringing this game up because we don't talk about this team enough. Iowa State is going to Houston. Iowa State's real, boys.
Yep. Iowa's only loss is Iowa State in that really close game. Iowa has played okay.
Iowa State's real. Watch out for my Cyclones. Quick, you clowns. It's really fun to watch them because I've had them the whole time since like year one.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them build it. It's pretty fun. They're good dudes. All right, here we go. The Georgia Bulldogs, Neal, are traveling to Tuscaloosa this week. I didn't know if you heard.
Speaking of places that are going to be insane, like Bryant-Denny Stadium, that game's at 6:30. That place around 4:15, 4:30 is going to be absolutely freaking bonkers between the game and game day,
the president,
Trump. I mean, holy cow, man! If I was going to that game, I would be like, all right, look, let's just get to campus like 7 a.m. and we'll just figure it out.
All right, we should do a prop bet. Over, under, or odds. What are the odds? All right, you ready? Is this game on ABC?
Yeah.
I imagine?
Yeah, it's a big game.
All right. What are the odds during the ABC broadcast we get a TV shot of Donald Trump talking to Nick Saban?
Ooh.
What are the odds?
So this is where it's going to be weird for ABC because ABC is...
Huh?
ABC, the head
Turn the page, Neal. Turn the page.
The head of ABC News is Kamala Harris's best friend. She set up Kamala Harris with her
They got to
husband.
show it, though, dude.
And so from a news standpoint, they don't want to do anything that makes Trump look good. But from a sports standpoint, it's going to be interesting. I'm being totally serious right now.
I'm with you.
From a sports standpoint, the people that are tuned into that game, they'll be interested in that. And especially if you got Trump and Saban sitting in the stadium or something, it's going to be really interesting to watch that thing get covered. I'll tell you this. You know this. One of the reasons I am so excited about 11 a.m. is I'll be done with my work by 5:30.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the game. I'm excited to watch how the game is covered. There's a lot there. Like I'm pouring some bourbon into a glass, and I don't really care who wins at all. I have no money on it. I have nothing on it. I wouldn't bet this game because I don't have any clue.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely fascinated to see where this game goes. The coverage of this game, everything about this game is just so interesting to me. And this is such a moment for Kalen DeBoer, right? I mean, holy cow.
Well, there's storylines coming out of this game one way or the other. If Kalen DeBoer loses, if Georgia wins the game, right now, okay? I'm just telling everybody, right now, it's been quiet for a long time, boys. Kalen DeBoer can lose by 1 point, he can lose a 2-point conversion, 97-game overtime game, and it's going to be like, I told you, he wasn't the right guy to replace Saban.
There's no doubt.
It's coming. If Alabama loses this game, they're coming out of the woodworks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So prepare. So if you're an Alabama fan, that's what you have to prepare for. Now, if you're a Georgia fan, let me tell you what you have to prepare for. Because now the new Nick is this guy named Kirby Smart. And he hasn't lost a regular season game since the Wuhan flu was here. All right? And so here's what's going to happen. If Georgia loses this game.
Those damn wet markets just piss me off.
It's the cats. Meow. All right.
Don't eat the cats.
Or the bats. Or the bats.
No.
See, what
or the geese.
See, what had happened was they didn't eat the dogs. They didn't eat the cats. They ate the bats.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
they ate the pandolins.
If we get through this episode without getting striked and shadow
what was it called,
banned,
a pandolin?
What the hell's a pendulum?
Remember it was like somebody said they ate a pandolin? That's what started it?
What the hell is a pendulum?
I don't know. Some kind of a bird.
I'm today years old. I've never heard that term.
See if I can find her.
No, you won't find it. It disappeared. It's been pendulum. It's not. It's going to say error 404 error.
Pangolin.
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 What the hell is that?
Oh no, let's find out.
No, I did not know that. I thought it was a bat.
A pangolin. Sometimes.
Welcome to McCready and Siskey. Hey, this.
No, that's not it. Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. It's like an anteater.
I thought you said it was a bird.
No, apparently it's an anteater. What do I look like?
A pangolin.
Well, I've been called worse. They have large protective keratin scales, similar in material to fingernails and toenails, covering their skin.
Okay.
They're the only known mammal with this feature. Live in
all
hollow trees or burrows.
Okay.
Yep.
Jean Carl Cockendall says it's like an armadillo. Okay. All right. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. But if you're a Georgia fan and you haven't lost a game since the Wuhan flu, if you do lose this game, Kirby is the new Nick. So it's going to be like, the dynasty is over. Bury Georgia. They're not as good as we once thought they were. They are human. They are terrible. I'm just going to remind everybody, the worst thing that ever happened to the casual football fan is this 12-team playoff from a standpoint is if you hope somebody like Georgia's going away, don't let them get in the playoff because those young guys are going to get good. They're going to be good come playoff time. It's the same thing as like how many national titles does Nick Saban have all over these years if they had a 12-team playoff and he gets a one-loss team into the playoff or whatever it is. I'm just saying, just be careful what you wish for. It's going to be okay. Somebody has to win the game. Somebody has to lose it.
I just laugh.
Still laughing at your
laughing
penguin?
at people. Yeah.
All right. Here's how I think the game's going to go, though. I think this is going to be a very.
Someone says it's not real. I just looked it up.
Oh, Romulus. It's on the internet. It must be true.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be true. I think this is an NFL type game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think it's a low scoring game. I think, like we talked about with AJ yesterday, I think you're going to see some version of palms, base. Now, the interesting thing for me is the video, right? You're going to have a chance to make adjustments per video. I like Georgia's defense to contain Milroe. Milroe has to find a way to get outside the pocket, and Georgia's got to keep him inside the pocket and be a quarterback. For Alabama, if you told me Alabama wins this game, I tell you that Milroe gets out and makes plays with his feet, extending plays. He's got to learn how to step up in the pocket. The book is out on him. Everybody knows he escapes to the right, and Georgia will be able to attack that. Defensively, I actually like Kane's matchup versus Georgia. Defensively, I think he'll be more aggressive. Look for some sacks, particularly on the backside of play action protection. I would look for him to kind of set up in that second and medium, second and short situations where Georgia's been heavy tendency to go play action pass. I think you're going to see some blitz, some edge pressure come off the open inside and kind of try to create some negative plays on play action downs. So look, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think somebody, just like an NFL game, somebody in the fourth quarter on the last drive or somebody's going to have to make a play.
Yeah.
I think it's that close. So we'll see there. Nothing really to talk about in this game. Illinois is at Penn State. Illinois is undefeated. Penn State's undefeated. Penn State's favored by 17.5. It's probably not enough.
Penn State looks really good so far this year. Really good. Really good.
Yeah, they do. They sleptwalked a little bit in a couple of games. I'm probably going to stay away from this one, but that's probably not enough. And then the stay away gamblers paradise stay away game of all time, South Alabama is getting 21 and a hook.
Yeah.
At LSU.
LSU's got an open date coming.
Got an open date. They're banged up already.
Yeah.
If I did anything on this game, I'd probably go south to cover.
And get the points.
Get the points. All right, Florida State is at SMU, sold out, been sold out. SMU kind of found their stride a little bit last week. I think SMU outscores Florida State.
Well, it won't take much.
And
Florida State can't score.
And then another money line special for your boy. One of my money line games will be Washington State is at Boise.
Boise's favored?
Boise's favored by 7.5 points.
I kind of like the Cougars. Yeah. So congratulations, Boise.
Well, just because you said that, I'm scratching that off my money line.
My picks will be spur of the moment, blindfolded, stabs at a screen.
Ain't no doubt. Cowboy NFL games this week. We're not going to talk about them in detail. Just Cowboys are at the Giants on Thursday night. Cowboys are getting 4.5 in a must-win game for them. They got to get going. Surprising line. I don't know. This one shocked me a little bit. The undefeated Vikings are going to Lambeau, and I'm assuming they're saying Jordan Love is going to play. The Packers are favored by 2.5 at home against the undefeated Vikings. The Saints are traveling to the Falcons. That one loss by the Saints is really the Falcons are favored by 2 at home against the Saints.
Big game here.
And then the Andy Dalton revenge game. The Bengals are traveling to the Panthers. The Bengals are getting 4.5. Have not won a game. Are getting 4.5 at the Andy Dalton revenge game. The Steelers are only getting 2 at the Colts. I love that game.
So far, this is kind of a woof.
Yeah, woof. It's getting better though. You got one good game. Commanders at the. This will be an interesting game. I'll watch it. Is the Commanders at the Cardinals? I'm in. I like watching Jaden Daniels play, and I like watching Kyler Murray play. I don't know why, I just do. Chiefs at the Chargers.
Oh, I could let Laura do my picks.
There you go. Chiefs at the Chargers.
She'll be at work though.
We can just get her to do it Wednesday night.
It'd be more fun to have somebody on screen. I might see if Campbell will.
Yeah,
I might see if Campbell will come on and
see if Campbell will come on, or maybe you could just have a special guest come on and pick your games every week. Maybe that'll be a segment. Hey, you can sell that segment. You never know.
I could
sell that segment. The Neal's Picks segment. Just get you a special guest every week and then get it aired. Chiefs at the Chargers are the afternoon game. And then this game is actually very good. Next Sunday night, I'll be all in on this one. The Bills at the Ravens for Sunday night football. That'll be a good game. And then you talking about 2 wolves. We got another double header Monday night next week. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Dolphins. And you got the Seahawks at the Lions, which will be a good game. And we will talk about all of our picks on Make It Rain Thursday. Sip Card said he'll pay for that. There's an email, McCreadyandSiskey@gmail.com. There's an email. Anybody wants to pay for that segment, McCreadyandSiskey@gmail.com.
I just asked Campbell.
Okay.
She'll be at work, but she works remotely a good bit. She might be able to do it.
Austin, thanks for Super Chat. He says, I physically can't call them Commanders. I mess up all the time. You're not alone.
She's going to be, well, what do you want me to pick? I'm going to say, no, you pick.
Whatever.
We pick 5 games. Just pick 5 games. Tell me who's going to win. Pick a team that's not favored, and then pick 5 NFL teams, and we'll just see what happens.
I forgot to
do worse.
I forgot to do the overall records, but it's like you're down like 11.5 units or something like that.
Yeah, I'm done. Ball game. Night.
I was down big last year and came back and won.
Yeah, I know. My only other strategy is to go the opposite of your picks and just hope.
Well, you could go. I'm telling you, what you should do is just pick them like normal.
In.
She's in?
Yep.
Tell her 2:30-ish.
Well, no, it's going to be earlier than that, remember, because I've got.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go. So we're going. I'll put it out on all over social media. I'll put it out. It's going to be probably like around 11 a.m. Thursday for our show. I've got basketball stuff for my other job that I need to go do, even though nobody is reading about basketball in September.
Hey, first of all, let's do this. So Thursday, whatever Scoops writes on Thursday, we all need to go click on Scoops article.
Well, I'm actually not going to write it till Saturday. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go. I've already made up my mind. I'm going to get up Saturday morning and go to Vaught Hemingway like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Ole Miss plays at 11. I'm just going to go ahead. I'll beat the crowd, all that stuff. I'm going to go to Vaught Hemingway about 8 o'clock, get a big coffee, and go to my seat and work basketball for 2 hours.
Okay.
That's my plan. And then by the time I finish writing basketball, it'll be time to start covering football, and I'll just knock it out.
And then when you come on the post-game show, you'll crack open a cold one and be ready for Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
Chase doesn't think this game is bleeding into the Alabama, Georgia game, does he?
No. I mean, not no.
No way, huh?
No, I mean, because if the Ole Miss game starts at 11, it's over at 2:30. No, we're not still going.
Yeah, I'm checking out on this
We're
one.
not still going 6:30. No.
Yeah, I'm checking out on this one. That's all I got today, boss. Hey, you know what, Neal?
So tell her what, about 11:15?
What time do you want to start?
Around 11.
11:30.
Okay, 11:30.
Just send her the link and tell her we'll tell around 11:30, and you'll text her to click it.
Okay, got it. All right.
Tell me about my saucy nugs today, Neal.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about saucy nugs.
I tried to tee you up, but you were too busy thinking about something else.
That's true, but I just didn't think that would be the thing that would help relax the quarterbacks.
It helps me relax.
But, if it goes badly on Saturday at Auburn,
yeah,
the best way to cheer up after a loss,
I do know.
after you've been yelled at by the quarterback,
By
by the coach, after you've read the post-game comments, watched the post-game video, after you get the bus off your back, head to Wendy's. Because listen, Peyton, maybe you've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce. Hank, maybe you've had them too. But let me ask you guys something. Both of you. Hank, Peyton, have you had them covered in sauce? Because Wendy's new saucy nugs take crispy and spicy nugs that you both love, and they turn them up to 11. 11. How many players on the field? How many points you score? 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker, try spicy ghost pepper. What do you have to lose? You've already lost. Only on Wendy's spicy signature nugs. I dare you. And listen, if it goes bad, I won't say a word. Okay? You'll be fine. That's 7. You know how many points you get when you score a touchdown? 7. Delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. So pick a flavor. It's like an RPO. You can go to the counter thinking, I want buffalo, and then change to, no, honey barbecue. No one's going to criticize the decision. And unlike in a game, hell, you can do both. Grab some extra napkins, and these napkins won't be for your tears. They'll just be napkins. And prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, Peyton, Hank, it's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
I'm going to attempt to follow it up. We're also brought to you by PTG Outdoors. They are a Caymus boats dealer. They have both fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards. They do custom marine electronic installations with Garmin, Humminbird, and Low Ranch products. You can get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where they replace all the batteries with a single lithium battery. They have a location in Grenada, Mississippi. Go to the online store. More importantly, go to the online store at PTG Outdoors. Or call 662-459-9311. 662-459-9311.
So we'll be back Thursday.
Probably 11 o'clock.
Probably a little early. Yeah, probably around 11. I will put it out on social media. I'll lock in a time tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll be plenty advanced for Make It Rain Thursday. Special guest Campbell McCready on the show to make my picks. That's pretty funny. We'll see how it goes. We've been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams, natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve all of your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. For Tyler, I'm Neal. Until Thursday, take care.